Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday. Sorry there was no video yesterday. I was drywalling my kitchen over the weekend and completely lost track of what day it was. So I'm back, and we're talking today about. I said last week I was going to co-stream the Game Awards. Somebody asked, I'm like, yeah, sure. I've changed my mind on that, and I want to explain why. It has to do with some tweets over the weekend from Jeff Keighley, the creator and host of the Game Awards, about the inclusion of Activision Blizzard in this year's awards, and it just made me remember why I stay away from the Game Awards. And I absolutely see how some people will disagree with my position on this and what I think they should have done instead. These are difficult things and there are no right answers. There is no consensus about how to deal with these things. So I'm interested in your feedback. I'm interested in your point of view on this stuff. And if you like this sort of, open discussion on things, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/LeannaK. And Kickstarter backers for Boss Fight Song of Sparkle Muffin, your greeting card templates will be going out this week. So we just had to wait for some credit cards to clear and all that stuff. Hunky dory, we're good to go. Allons-y. So Activision is being sued by the state of California for sexual harassment, sex discrimination, right? We all sort of know a lot of the gory details there. There are ongoing protests and walkouts and so on and so forth at Blizzard Activision by employees because of some reporting that says the CEO of the company, Bobby Kotick, knew about some of these accusations and failed to inform the board. It's messy. It's, my heart absolutely goes out to anybody working at Activision right now. I know how tough it was for some UB staff when that was going on at that company, and they were blameless. Like the rank and file staff, people who didn't do anything wrong, it was tough. It was a tough time, and people still won't let that go, even though they fired 4 senior management at Ubisoft in response to that. And that wasn't a lawsuit. That was just a report. That was just a scandal, right? This is a lawsuit. Now, I want to level set that back then when Ubisoft was being disallowed for awards, they wouldn't accept them as nominees for certain awards. I don't remember which ones they were. One was a Canadian award show, and I disagreed with that because I thought that if you don't allow games and the work of the rank and file at a company to be rewarded because of the bad actions of management, you discourage that rank and file from coming forward with complaints because their teams and their work products will suffer. And you don't want any barriers to people coming forward and reporting bad behavior. I stand by that. I think that the 2 nominations that Call of Duty has at the Game Awards should stand. I have a nuanced position of what the Game Awards should have done, but I take issue with the way the Game Awards handled this, and I'll show you the tweets in question. Feel free, if you haven't seen these, to be sort of about it, because I was. So here we go. Beyond its nominations, I can confirm that Activision Blizzard will not be a part of this year's The Game Awards. The Game Awards is a time of celebration for this industry and the biggest form of entertainment in the world. There is no place for abuse, harassment, or predatory practices in any company or any community. I also realize we have a big platform which can accelerate and inspire change. We are committed to that, but we all need to work together to build a better and more inclusive environment so everyone feels safe to build the world's best games. All of us are accountable to this standard. Incredible games and the talented developers who build them are who we want to celebrate. See you on Thursday. Um, except the talented developers who build them and who we want to celebrate has not, one, traditionally been who the Game Awards have celebrated. They put out a tweet before that I went, about with the publishers, the most nominated publishers. Not the studios, not the people who actually make the game, the publishers of the games, not the developers, the publishers. Now, in a case like Ubisoft or Square Enix, they're the same. But, that was a lot of blah, 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 blah to cover up the very Orwellian, beyond the way Activision's involved, Activision will not be involved. The other kind of awkward moment is when you go to the Game Awards website and you go to the advisory board, the very first person that comes up is the president of Activision, Rob Kostich. Now, he hasn't been as implicated as Bobby Kotick yet. We don't know. It's not finished. But still, the very first advisory board member is from Activision. Now, it says right here, the board is not involved in the selection of award nominees or winners and learns of the results of voting at the same time as the general public. But still, Activision's on the advisory board. It looks bad. It looks bad, okay? There was a way they could have showed support. They could have said, we do not approve of this nonsense, and also not punished the studio. Not punished the studios and developers that, worked hard on these games. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to reset this window here so it looks a bit better. Okay, so here's a category that a Call of Duty game was nominated in. It's the best ongoing category. You see, well, you can't see this, is Apex Legends and Final Fantasy 14 Online and Fortnite and Genshin Impact, and then the Call of Duty Warzone and Infinity Ward and Raven. Oh boy. So Activision, I don't know if you've been following what's going on with Raven, but kind of shitty with the layoffs. Anyway, so this Activision bit does not have to appear here. They could just give the nod to Infinity Ward and Raven and award the studio without having the publisher. So reward the people who work on the game, allow the game to go in, have a symbolic gesture, just remove Activision's name. That would be a useful middle ground, saying we do not approve of this behavior, and yet they don't punish the staff. Okay, Activision is going to have to answer. Maybe you could say that there's a bit of poetry here that Activision now has to answer for the fact that they laid off a third of the staff at, Raven, the QA team, while they're nominated for an award. That's a dick move. But all the blah, 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 blah Game Awards, this, that, the next thing, they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. And that isn't cool. But there's a deeper level than that. They're doing nothing. They think they're doing something. Because what do they mean by, other than the nominations, Activision Blizzard is not involved? Well, the Game Awards have rapidly become the trailer announcements, the trailer reveal with some trophies. The meat of the show is first looks, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of movies this year with trailers. This is why I don't terribly care for the Game Awards, because I can watch trailers for games I'm interested in on YouTube anytime I want. I don't want to sit through a lengthy award show where I'm sitting here going, how can they possibly judge between these categories? And why is Deathloop nominated for so very much? But I don't want to do that to get trailers. I know it's this big hype train. I know some people like the celebrity presenters. I don't want to be an ass about that. Let people have their fun. If they enjoy it, I know all I will do is snark because I'm pissed off. But remember I said that it reminds me of the reason I stay away from the Game Awards. It's because of all that advertising money that seems to me to be the real reason for being at the Game Awards. Now, Keighley seems to be hinting at the fact that there is no Activision Blizzard advertising in this year's awards, which I guess to him is a big deal. But you know, we know his nickname from back in the day. We know he is really driven by those product placements. But being nominated is involvement. Having the publisher's name on those nominations is involvement. And when you're not taking a side in these sorts of disputes, you are taking a side. You are siding with corporate and not with the staff. It was well known in the industry that there was shenanigans going on. You can do things, you can be a conscience, and, you know, they've got this whole thing of something of tomorrow or something. I don't fucking know what it is. It's 3 black people with some goo on their face on the Game Awards. It's like, it's called Future Class. I'm like, is this an X-Men movie? Like, it's just the strangest friggin' thing. Here it is. Like, what is that? It's young game devs that they're spotlighting, I guess. Diversity, yay, diversity. And hey, I recognize some names on here. This is like super cool. But what's with this art? You know, 50 inspiring individuals who represent the bright, bold, and inclusive future of video games. So they'll do this, but they won't go, you did bad, Activision, time out for a year, right? Without excluding the games. I think Activision's the only studio this year who didn't get, 3 or more nominations. Publisher. But that's not what Activision does anyway. They're the games as services thing. It's like, play Call of Duty forever. We don't care about anything else. Bye, Destiny. We don't need you. Probably not the best move on their part, but Activision has not been making great decisions of late. I think that just removing their name from those titles and allowing the titles to be in the show would have shown solidarity with the staff of the company without punishing people because the company did bad. It's symbolic. It really doesn't matter in the long run. But if you're gonna bother, writing shit like, there is no place for abuse, harassment, or predatory practices in any company or any community, but we're not taking sides, you're basically sort of saying, like, I'm giving lip service, but I'm not gonna really take a stand here. Like, come on, they're on the advisory board. They'll probably give me money next year. Where's my Mountain Dew and Doritos? It just seemed, it would have been better to me to say nothing and just say, as he said in other interviews, we don't want to punish the people who work on the games because of the bad behavior, alleged bad behavior of the higher ups. I guess they don't want to get involved because it's a lawsuit. And so everybody can just go, Ubisoft sucks, because there was no lawsuit. But, Activision gets in even bigger trouble. And so everybody has to go, oh, I'm not taking a side. Come on. If you've read the accounts, I had my own experiences. Just because something may not have been criminal doesn't mean there was not shittiness going on at Activision. We can reasonably say stuff was going on at Activision, and this is just spineless. You can't say all of us are accountable to the standard of building inclusive environments so everybody feels safe, and then go, we're not taking a side. That's not accountable. That is just not accountable. You can say, look, jury's out on the actual case, but clearly stuff was going on there. Don't know if it's criminal, wasn't there, calling shenanigans, right? You can do that. You can stand up. You can say, I believe the people who have told their stories and shared their accounts of what they went through at Activision Blizzard. This don't want to take a side is bullshit. It's trying to have it both ways. You don't get good people points on something like this if you do absolutely nothing. If you just... It didn't even say they refused to take their money. It may not have been offered. You know, I think Overwatch 2, and there was one others that may have been shown this year, but Overwatch 2, who knows, right? It's mealy-mouthed, and it's wormy. He could have done more. He could have been more pro-worker. He could have been more truly inclusive. Because here's the thing. This stuff continued for as long as it did because people heard the rumors. They heard the stories. And they didn't do anything. Because they didn't want to lose the Call of Duty, Destiny, you know, whatever other big games, you know, Activision published Sekiro. They didn't want to lose access to that gravy train. That kind of coverage gets clicks. And so they were just, we couldn't get anybody to go on the record. We heard rumors, but all that stuff. No. People knew, and they were just too afraid. And this is a continuation of the same. So he's not being accountable here. And it's not going to matter to him. I am nothing. I am a speck in the universe on this. But just for my conscience, I actually want to do something. And, you know, this would have been better for my Twitch traffic than it benefits the Game Awards. I just feel like I have to do the thing I wanted him to do and actually do something to indicate this is not okay. And, you know, again, I repeat, I'm not saying that the Call of Duty games should not have been involved. They're excellent games for what they do. They should be in the best ongoing category. I forget the other category they're in, but you know, Infinity Ward and Raven Sadness should get a nod. You know, again, the fact that they laid off a third of the QA department at Raven while they're nominated for a Game Award, that's bullshit, right? I want to call attention to that because, hey, there's a award-nominated team. You're fired. And this is why awards matter because, you know, it's an indication of people thought they did a good job. They deserve to keep their jobs, which is why I don't think the game itself should be disallowed, should be disqualified. It would have been very easy to not include Activision's name. Again, I think that is at least something. That is actually, we do not condone harassment. And this year, credible allegations of harassment, we're giving respect to that. We don't have to judge the case to give respect to the seriousness of the allegations. And that would have been a little thing, punishing no dev studio, only punishing the publisher. That would have been something, anything. But this Activision Blizzard isn't involved except in the ways they're involved. It really shows what matters to this show. It really shows that it's the trailer reveals and the paid advertising and the movie trailers and the piles of Doritos and the walls of Mountain Dew. And that won't die for a reason. But it is just so obvious that the whole thrust of these awards is to bring in ad revenue. And I've worked on award shows that are basically about that. And it left a very bad taste in my mouth because it's not rewarding excellence. It's creating a bunch of categories as a baited hook to hook in advertisers for game announcements and movies and stuff like that. I mean, we're probably going to get a Matrix trailer. Whoopie-doo. I'll watch that on YouTube later. And you know, it could be, they're probably going to show something with God of War Ragnarok. I don't know. It's an anticipated game. Why are you giving an award for hype? Most anticipated game. Why? Who cares? Who cares if it's anticipated? Is it any good? You know, it shouldn't be, you shouldn't be rewarding hype. Ridiculous. And they've got like best debut indie, and it's just all the esports category. I don't mind. Yes, that is money. That is its own thing. Good for them. I think that's the other category that Call of Duty is in, is best esports game. Yes, it is. And they've just got Activision there. They don't have the publishers there at all. It's just Activision. Like, crass, man. Just crass. But it's all about the ad dollars. And I don't want to give them eyeballs. Even the like 30-something people who regularly watch my streams, I don't want to give them those 30 eyeballs. And people have said they won't watch unless it's like a thing like that because they are like me. They're grouchy about it. And so I'm not going to give them that, because even if we're watching and complaining, we're still watching. And those cumed numbers are what they take to the advertisers to get the Dorito bucks, right? I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm not. I just can't. I know it would be good to sort of boost my Twitch numbers again. That's not where I'm at. I don't care about viewer counts. I don't care about building that this way. I just want people to show up and have a good time. And I think part of the reason people enjoy my content is they know that even if they don't agree with my principles and even if they don't agree with my ethical stances, I have them. And I feel with other people, I don't have to agree with their ethical stances as long as they have them, right? I would rather deal with a person I actively disagreed with on an ethical point who had one than somebody goes, I don't know, both sides have good points. Why? Because somebody's willing to take a side. If somebody's willing to take a side, and they're not, you know, like a political stooge, like they're not like a paid operative or something like that. It was just somebody with an opinion and they thought about it, and it's not just talking points. Like I said, there are probably going to be a lot of opinions on this one, and a lot of people are going to disagree with my solution that you strip Activision's name out, you let the games in. I know there are a lot of people who feel like Activision should not be involved. That, you know, they've canceled their WoW subscriptions. They've done all that stuff. They're done. They're done with Activision. You know, I'd ask people to consider the employees, like the people at Raven who got laid off. That's what happens if these games tank. But again, I really understand you just not feeling the love anymore. Like if you felt compelled to cancel your WoW subscription, I know people who did. I know people who didn't. I think they're all good people. The reason these things are so upsetting is that they are really upsetting, and it makes people feel very, very helpless. And they feel like they should be doing something and they don't know what that something should be. And so people get really upset. As somebody who has been through this stuff, I don't want to see the, you know, you want to see the company improve. You don't want to see it fail. All that matters is that the people who were wronged are compensated. Not that you can ever get some of this stuff back, but they're compensated and conditions improve. Personally, I don't care if management gets fired or anything like that. I don't like Bobby Kotick for other reasons, but I don't care about going for the CEO's head or anything like that. I just want conditions to improve. And I think that is what most people feel. And they're sick and tired of these constant scandals. They're sick of the industry they love seeming sick. And they're sick of wearing the stigma of these poor workplace practices. There's a reason I am so vocal about some of the things I am. I've known this has been going on for years. I know some absolutely wonderful people at a lot of companies. Some people have had no problems, super great experiences. Other people have terrible times. And it's not just sexual harassment. It's women feeling like they were set up to fail because they got paired off with somebody who was management's friend who wasn't competent, and this woman was expected to do the work of two people. When she did the work of 1 3/4 people, that wasn't good enough. And the manager's friend skated, stuff like that. And that could happen to women, that could happen to men. I've heard terrible experiences, and some people had, better experiences at Activision than Riot. Some people had better experiences at UB than EA. A lot of ex-EA people at UB who are like, individual mileage varies. There's problems in corners of every single company out there now, and it's inexcusable. And I think we all agree on that, and we all think it's crappy. And I do think that the most important thing right now that we can do is just let the workers at these companies, the employees who actually make the games we love, not the management that collects millions of dollars in bonuses just from going, oh, check a box, the people who actually make the games, the creative professionals, they need our support. And I think any way we can show them our support while still not punishing them for coming forward by, yanking their products from award shows, that's what we can do. And we can also not support companies that will not take an affirmative stance in favor of the employees who are fighting for better treatment. Period. End of story. So that's why I'm not streaming the Game Awards. Interested in your opinions here. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Thanks for watching.